Welcome back. Welcome back. Another day, another preview. We are moving on. This is the third to last one we have. The other two should be coming out the following day. But we got a great game here in Blazers Clippers. If you're a fan, you get to see Scoot Henderson for the first time, not in preseason or summer league. If you're a Clippers fan, you get to kind of gauge, is this team going to take the regular season seriously, or are they just going to sack it off like they've been the last few years? But we're going to start with stats from last year, and then we will move into key matchups. But we'll start with the Clippers. Slim, here's some numbies.
So they won 44 games, which isn't bad. You know what I'm saying? Out of 82, that's right where you at least want to be at the very least. So 44, 38 losses. Their offensive rating was 114th, so 17th overall. Same thing with their defensive rating, which is pretty crazy, but you got a 0.6 on the end. So your defense is just as good as your offense, which isn't, necessarily like an awful thing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So and their net rating was 0.5, 17th in the league. So overall, they were, you could say, consistent throughout. I'm not going to call them mid because I believe in the Clippers, especially for this upcoming season. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, definitely like 17th across the board is one of the weirder things. I've done checked out the ratings for every team in the NBA. 17 across the board is like just wild to me. But if you guys haven't watched, go check out our Clippers video. It's uploaded about a month ago, but it's one of our highest viewed videos. We were just talking about how people are still sleeping on the Clippers and how we really think that this is the year they kind of put it all together if they really, really stick to what they said in the offseason. Ty Lue mentioned it. The guys mentioned it, that you can't just let the regular season just kind of breeze by, get in. Because when you're the 6 seed or the 5 seed, you're playing against one of the top teams. Like, you can't be a 6 seed in this playoffs. Like, you don't want to see Denver, LA, Phoenix. Sacramento would be the best out of those, but like they might not even be a top 4 seed this year. Like, you have Golden State, obviously. Memphis is always good in the regular season. There's just a lot of teams in the West, and you can't really mess around because I think from 4 to 12 is going to be within like 5 games of each other. So I think the Clippers are going to have to do some better regular season play for sure.
Whoa, slow down, gang. If you're liking this content here, I really appreciate it if you'd like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. It takes 0 seconds. I make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to all the creators I like watching because I know it makes a huge difference for them, just like it makes for us. Stick with us. TOT Faithful, we love you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out more videos.
100%.
Yeah, going on to the Blazers stats, they were 33 and 49. Also a 114 offensive rating, 18th. Defensive rating, 118 at 28th. And net rating at -4 even at 26th. So obviously not a great basketball team last year. Obviously these numbers are going to be vastly different without Damian Lillard on the team. But the offensive rating, I honestly feel like is going to stay. I think these numbers are going to stay remotely the same, and they might go down a little bit. But I think they'll be remotely the same because you added a guy in Ayton who is not known for his defense in the slightest, but he can give you some decent offensive production. And then you have Shaedon Sharpe, who you're expecting to take a breakout. And then Anthony Simons, who's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. We're really going to get to see what he can do. We're very high on Anthony Simons here. But, yeah, I mean, based on the preseason Scoot, I haven't watched the game, so this is just on stats. He has not shot the ball great. 40% from the floor, 27% from 3. Not great. But, hey, I'm a Cavs fan. Darius Garland was literally the worst player in the NBA his rookie year. So anything can happen, like legitimately. But I'm a believer in Scoot for sure. But let's go into our key. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Scoot is definitely tough. I was watching some highlights the other day. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's different, you know.
Yeah, no, I think Scoot's going to have a really good career. I don't know if it's going to click right away, but that's just how guards are in the NBA. It's a tough transition to come as a guard and make an instant impact. Like, only a couple guys. Like, Luka did it. Trae Young did it. But, like, it's tough to come in as a guard and really dominate. Like, it took De'Aaron Fox, like, 5-6 years to really get to where he is now.
Exactly.
Like, Tyrese, Darius Garland each took 3 years. Brunson took 5 years. Like,
this is going to be Peyton Pritchard's breakout year.
Facts. But yeah, no, like it takes a while for guards. Like, you see bigs make an impact earlier on in their careers. Like when a guy comes in, like I'm just going to give Cavs references, but like Evan Mobley. Yeah, Walker Kessler, Evan Mobley, like those guys just come in and instantly make an impact because of the defensive ability, and their sheer size just allows them to score the ball a lot easier than a 6'2" point guard in Scoot Henderson.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off that, let's switch into our key matchups. My key matchup to watch out for is Zubats and Plumlee versus DeAndre Ayton. Are we going to see a rejuvenated DeAndre Ayton? Are we going to see a guy that wants to be aggressive on both ends of the floor? Is he going to want to go and rebound, or are we going to get another clip where he's standing out of bounds watching the other team get 3 offensive rebounds in a row? Like, what kind of DeAndre Ayton are we getting? Everything I've seen, he looks rejuvenated. He even got a nice dominating tattoo across his back, which was something. But yeah, I mean, I think for the Clippers, the key is dominating that matchup. Obviously, Kawhi and Paul George are going to get theirs, and you can't really do much about that. Jeremy Grant's a good defender, but you won't be able to contain both of them because you're going to have to throw a Shaedon Sharpe on them, who they can just abuse the size and sheer strength and honestly knowledge of the game just to get those kind of matchups. But like, can Zubats and Plumlee dominate the interior? That's kind of what I was looking out for.
Sheesh.
I think for the Clippers to be really successful this season, they have to do it consistently, and they have for the most part. But like, especially in this game when you're playing a smaller team and you have DeAndre Ayton, who's not the most aggressive guy in the world, like you have to dominate this matchup. Because I love Zoo and Plumlee.
100%. I'm with you on that, and I think that's like you said, Ayton lacks the aggressiveness, and then that's why I was so frustrated with him. To all the people of TOT. I don't represent the Suns, but yeah, that's my squad. But had big frustrations with DeAndre Ayton last season, not being as aggressive as he needed to be. So I'm glad he's out. I'm glad he's in Portland and maybe in a new situation, and Chauncey can hopefully speak a little bit to him to get him on the more aggressive side, especially with these, with the new group of guys that he's a part of. So if the team just so happens to, how you like, I don't know, they say, watch who you were around because, you become that. So like him stepping into this new organization, are the guys going to rub off on him in a way that allows him to be, more aggressive, more confident within his game? But to me personally, I don't like to psychoanalyze anybody, but when I watch his post-game interviews and I listen to the way that he speaks, he's just not assertive in regards to his confidence with taking it step by step for him and his team game by game. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when he has a down game or, just people are expecting more aggressiveness from him and he doesn't perform, instead of taking accountability for it, I've seen him kind of like crumble in a way that shows that you aren't able to have the mental fortitude in order to stay focused and locked in and present in play-by-play moments, which, are required of you to do in order for you to be aggressive and help lead your team, facilitate, swing out to your wings, swing out to a Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons. You got to be aware with Scoot and, all of those guys. So I'm looking forward to it. But I think ultimately Zoo and Plumlee could definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, I just think, I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think that since this team now, obviously you move off Dame, but now you acquire all these pieces that are kind of all trying to prove themselves, so to speak. Like Scoot Henderson needs to prove that he should have been the second pick. And is Anthony Simons really as good as everyone says, or is he just getting those looks because of the not as much attention because of Dame? Is DeAndre Ayton actually a good basketball player at the level that people want? And it's like, I feel like if all these guys want to prove something, they'll bounce off each other and it'll be infectious and they can really get something going. And that's just my kind of thinking on it. But
and that makes me excited for Jeremy Grant. I feel like he's
got to prove the contract. He's got to prove he's worth that. I mean,
exactly,
it's a tough contract to live up to,
but getting rid of Dame, I feel like is gonna alleviate some of the pressure that was on Jeremy Grant to fit specifically within a system that was, orchestrated for Dame, so now that Dame's gone, you got a little bit of younger talent. I think they're going to look towards Jeremy Grant, within the first part of the season to, step up and be that veteran leader, to be the veteran foundation, defensively, leading to to the offense and transition and all of those great things. But the matchup that
go ahead.
I was going to say the matchup I'm most excited for is to see, the display of skills that the guards provide. Shout out to Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is that cat. He showed you last year that I don't need to prove myself. I'll just throw a similar, name out there, but he reminds me a little bit of, to the people who are unfamiliar with his game, kind of sort of like a Tyrese Maxey. I feel like Tyrese Maxey gets a lot of televised play. A lot of people may, know that Philly's a bigger market, so I think that I think another player that fits into that category of dogs, go-getters, headhunters who can push and transition and run the offense and our scores is none other than Bones Highland. So to see Bones Highland and Anthony Simons go against each other is going to be a sight to see. And also PG versus Jeremy Grant, if we can really get that going.
Yeah, no, I want to take it one step further. I just think that in order for the Blazers to win this game, I don't know if it's super likely they win this game, but in order for them to have a really good chance to win this game, I think that their guards have to dominate. I think Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot, and Anthony really have to dominate and win the matchup and get enough outproduce the Clippers guards in Russ, Bones, and Terrence Mann. Can you outproduce them to try and equate and make up for some of the Paul George and Kawhi production? I don't know if it's possible, but if you can do it, then you have a good chance to win this game, because that's the matchup you got to hunt for. They're not all – Terrence Mann's a good defender, but Russ and Bones Highland are not plus defenders by any means anymore, Russ specifically. And you have three guys that can put the ball in the damn basket. Like, I think Shaedon Sharpe's primed for his breakout. I think that Scoot can start to figure it out. And this is a team that doesn't have one of the better perimeter defenders. Russ is big and strong, so that might be tough. But can you go and try and win that? And if you can, I think you got a shot. I don't know if it's likely, but that's kind of what Blazers fans got to hope for. Because I don't know I feel like I trust the guards more than I trust DeAndre Ayton to win that matchup.
I can say this. Shout out to Keegan Murray. We just got done talking a little bit about Sacramento and just the heat that's coming out of the West. If you're familiar with Sacramento, y'all know Keegan Murray. The Trailblazers just got his brother, Chris Murray. So I'm excited to see, the impact that he has on the game with his ability, stepping into the league. So, maybe that could, provide Portland what they could be lacking going up against elite scoring, from a bench. I was on the phone with my partner. Shout out the dude in the back. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Jay. Shout out my boy Vaughn. But I called him. I said, bruh, Norman Powell, Bones Highland, Terrence Mann, dang.
Like the bench matchup's going to be crucial too.
Bro,
I just don't think the Blazers really have a shot to win it, to be honest.
I'm saying, I don't think they got it. I don't think they got enough firepower. You know what I'm saying? They need more ammunition.
Yeah, but let's get into game picks as we do. We're going to tally it up after Wednesday or Thursday after the Sixers game and see what we all picked and what our records were. But the Blazers are 9.5 point underdogs. So you can get 9 points. Games in LA. What do you like? You want the 9.5, or you think the Clippers win by 10 or more?
Man, I think the Clippers win by like at least 12.
Okay. So you think
at least 12. I can see Jeremy. Look, Jeremy Grant showed you last season. I can give you 45. Anthony Simons has showed you, hey, I can give you 45. I'm looking forward to see what, Scoot is going to be able to provide and what DeAndre Ayton is going to be able to provide. And, hopefully that's holding down the fort. But if your big isn't solid and not getting you offensive and defensive boards, then, if you don't have that aggression, then you can't really have the engine and the spark that your scorers need to go down there and go get it on the other end. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Clippers really have the firepower, and it's just going to be an onslaught, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
At least by 12.
Yeah. It's a tough spread. 9.5 on opening night for any team is just tough. I just think that there's more kinks for the Blazers to work out than there is for the Clippers. And I'm going to take the Clippers too. It's a lot of points. I don't like taking a lot of points in the NBA. But, I mean, I just think that the Clippers are just simply a way better team at this moment in time than the Blazers are.
100%.
Having Paul George and Kawhi just really tips the scales for me. There's too much uncertainty right now with the Blazers. And as the year goes on, hey, maybe they get it figured out and they'll be a nice team to bet on or like really watch. But for right now, I gotta go Clippers. It's too lopsided to me. Just going through all the matchups, I just feel like the Clippers have a better chance of winning their specific matchup opposed to the Blazers. Their keys to success, I guess you could call it. But yeah, there's our 2 game picks. Let us know what your picks are in the comments. Who do you think is going to win this game? Do you think they cover? Do you think they don't? But like, comment, subscribe. If you're a fan of either of these teams and want to see a post-game recap, hey, we'll do it. But like, comment, subscribe, and let us know.